We have one more segment for you on the spread on this Monday night. And before we wrap things up, I wanted to talk to Mr. Brian Matthews, aka BMatt, aka the Anytime Touchdown Architect. He has bombs for you on Monday Night Football. Brian, appreciate you joining me. And as promised, we got a couple more points. It might not be a 55-point total, but we'll settle for a 43, all right? Appreciate you joining
Yeah.
me.
Hey, first of all, thanks for having me on. We've got progress, so that's what I'm looking at, right? The point
We're moving
totals
in
are
the right
moving
direction.
up. Yeah, and look, we hit a touchdown score last week with high value,
Yeah.
so we got a couple more points projected. Let's see if we can't get a couple more.
Yeah, we're on a nice streak here because we got Van Jefferson last week. Sure, it
Right.
was with 5 seconds left. Who's counting? Doesn't matter. Win's a win.
Never
And the
in
week
doubt.
before was with Taysom Hill. So we got a nice streak going here. We got Patriots and Cardinals tonight.
Mm,
Patriots have an offense that has been compared to a 1950s offense. They didn't score in the first quarter for the first 3 quarters of the season, so that's not great. And the Cardinals have the tools, but Kyler Murray and Cliff Kingsbury leave a lot to be desired. But that's what we're here for, to get you some good plays for tonight with our Anytime Touchdown King. Brian, why don't you get us started with your best play for tonight, your number one pick for an Anytime
mhm.
Touchdown score?
All right. So the number one pick, and I hate to do chalk, so we will move past chalk right after this, but we have to do it, right? I mean, the top touchdown
Yeah.
scorer is going to be the pick. So I'm going to go Rhamondre Stevenson here. Anytime that
Mhm.
Damian Harris is out, he receives a heavy workload, both rushing the football and in the passing game too. So when I look at it, regardless if they've got a lead or they're trailing, he's matchup proof. And to me, when you have that many
Mhm.
opportunities, you got a pretty good shot of scoring.
Okay, so you went chalk. That's fine. There's a reason it's chalk, is because it hits.
Yeah.
Rhamondre Stevenson, actually the second most bet on touchdown score according to DraftKings. I have a feeling you may be calling on the most popular bet soon, but let's hear what number two is.
All right. So number two, again, this is a little chalky, but at least it's at plus odds. DeAndre Hopkins, I'm sure he's number one on the anytime touchdown
Yep.
bet list. But look, here's the thing. Kyler Murray looks his way often, and he gets a
Hmm.
ton of valuable targets. So, not only that, the Patriots are tough on defense. They're going to be able to try and take that threat away. But what he has over everyone are those hands, man. Hopkins makes some incredible catches. So,
Yep.
if Murray puts one up, maybe Hopkins goes up and grabs it, mosses somebody, but he would be my second pick.
I feel like I'm playing FanDuel here. You're saying answers, and I'm checking off what point value it has. Hopkins actually the most popular first touchdown score bet on both BetMGM, which you can get him at plus 750, and on DraftKings you can get him at 700. Also the most popular anytime touchdown score, like you mentioned, at plus 115. You'll take it at least. I'll give my first two before we kind of give our long shots for the day. I'm not going too crazy here. I like Hollywood Brown to score in this game. Bill Belichick has the famous take away their best weapon, whether that be James Conner or DeAndre Hopkins. Obviously, DeAndre Hopkins is a better football player. But I think that Hopkins probably gets a little mitigated. That has kind of become a thing of the past. I mean, we saw Justin Jefferson torch the Patriots a couple weeks ago. But I think that, with no Rondale Moore in the lineup, I think that Hollywood Brown finds the end zone. My second pick for today is going to be Hunter Henry. The
Hey,
Cardinals, earlier in the show, I think it was Slop said that the Cardinals literally have not learned how to cover a tight end this season. It's true; they are god awful against tight ends.
yeah.
And I think Mac Jones, once he gets into that red zone, is going to be looking Hunter Henry's way. Saw him have a couple of touchdowns a couple of weeks ago. Had one wiped off, but we don't have to talk about that. So my two picks are Hollywood Brown and Hunter Henry. Now we've gotten to our long shots. Brian, you can go first.
All right. Well, Hunter Henry was on my list as well. I like that one. Let me
Okay.
just co-sign that. Look, the defense that gives up the most receiving yards to tight
Mm-hmm.
ends, and you have, you're missing an important receiver there in New England. Your
Mm-hmm.
Jacoby Myers. Yeah, might be a good call
A lot
there.
of
So,
targets.
look, I'm going to say, since I picked chalk, now we'll move away from that. If I'm going to the furthest splash of potentials and a sprinkle, I'm going to
Mm-hmm.
go there first. Trey McBride, and so he's starting. He's the
Okay.
starting tight end for the Cardinals. Picked up after Zach Ertz left. Look, he
Mm-hmm.
hasn't done a ton, right? But when you're starting tight end on an offense with Kyler Murray, who's shown that he'll throw to tight ends in that area,
Mm-hmm.
maybe he gets his first today. So that one is there at I think plus 750 or plus 800. So
Mm-hmm.
that's one. And then the other one I look to, Davonte Parker. I mean, the guy's an enigma, right? So we don't know when he's going to have 8 catches or if it's going to be a 1-catch week. But I did go back to when Jacoby Myers missed 2 games earlier in the season. That was week 3 and week 4. He had a touchdown in one game, and he had 8 receptions in the other. So, if you got anything to look back on, it's a small sample size. But, I think, he might be a guy that finds the end zone.
Okay, I like it. I'm going to go with Greg Dortch as my long shot. And look, I didn't do my research. I didn't go back and see, when Rondale Moore misses games, what Greg Dortch does. I just know that eventually the ball needs to be thrown around. And I see a scenario where the Cardinals just kind of shit the bed and they fall behind and they need to start throwing the ball, with 5 minutes left in the fourth quarter type thing. I'll call my number here. I think Greg Dortch just randomly sneaks into the end zone, kind of just one of those, we have James Conner shut down. We have DeAndre Hopkins shut down. Cool. There's, McBride or Dortch randomly coming out of nowhere to score. So we'll see if we can keep our streak going. Brian gave his best picks for this week. I gave mine. We've got a 2-week streak on the line, so we'll see if we can make it 3. Brian, appreciate you joining the show, and good luck tonight.
Appreciate you as always.